For better for worse, my entire career has been peppered with the layoffs. So a lot of M&A activity, some have been budget cuts. And thankfully, I had finally reached a point in my career where I was an executive and I was downsized. And I knew, because of being a new executive and kind of going into uncharted waters and successfully partnering with coaches before, with this juncture, I wanted to make sure wherever I landed next, I was doing it right or had a really great coach to make sure that I didn't look back and have would have, should have, could have. So I did an RFP. I wanted someone with deep executive experience and all around experience. And I did vet a few people. And what's great about you and Coach Ron is not only the abilities that they have, but your ability to connect with people, your ability and passion is very evident, and your confidence. And it's not smoke and mirrors confidence, it's authentic and real confidence. So I felt really good partnering with you because I had a very atypical situation, and the guidance was going to be invaluable to kind of get me on safer waters. I think it's that Swiss Army knife, but it's the thick Swiss Army knife, not thin skills, but really thick, robust tools in that toolkit. So not just the resume writing, but I found really rich executive experience, but down to earth, a really great personality and perspectives when we had some of our initial chats that resonated with me and really getting my particular unique situation. I didn't feel at any time there was a cookie cutter or approach or like, I've heard your situation 20 times before, let me just rinse, repeat. True, authentic customization, empathy, and saying, look, the resume is a tool, but let me introduce you to the other tools in the toolbox that will really set you up for success and continuing to build on your executive credentials. So I think that was great, along with just, again, I felt like I was talking to someone who wasn't rinse and repeat. You really were interested in making it as customized as possible and understanding and recognize me as a whole individual, which was amazing. The emotional support, it doesn't matter what level you're at. If this is your first layoff or heaven forbid your 15th, it hurts. There is a deep psychological trauma that happens. And even though I'm kind of used to it and I have coping mechanisms, you have to go through those stages of grief. And just knowing someone's in your corner, again, in an authentic way, not let me just check the boxes so I can get my check type of, transaction, is deeply, deeply appreciated. Because if you're not in a good mindset, that's going to show in your resume, it's going to show in your screener calls, so on and so forth. So I think knowing that you've got my back is invaluable. That is what I think is number one. With that said, once you kind of know that you've got someone who's a true champion for you and in your corner, it's the skills, right? The actual let's get and dissect, show your brand, show who you are, and let's put that in the most authentic, real, credible way so that employer knows that you've got a really awesome bill of goods and you're going to solve their problems. And so we talked about that a lot in terms of like they're asking for X, I respond in a strategic way to couple their problems and that I'm the solution to that problem. And so iterating that time and again as I went through this latest job search, again, has been invaluable. And we had a few, wrenches thrown our way, a few surprises. And again, having someone to talk it through, go through the emotion, but then get to the brass tacks and really what the action plan is, was a great iteration. And again, just such a valued service. And I just appreciate it, because going at this alone and is just tough. I was just watching on LinkedIn a TED Talk that I've seen a few times, and it serendipitously came into my feed the other day, a neurosurgeon saying, athletes, no matter how good you are, they have coaches. In the real world, we kind of shun that and saying, I don't need a coach. I've done this for 10 years or 20 years. I know what to do. But without a coach, you're never going to, get better, or you're never going to know those one or two areas that will accelerate and leapfrog your skills. And that's exactly what this neurosurgeon said in his TED Talk. So having external eyes, that's a little less skin in the game, but a lot of experience has been great as I continue, my career and trying to sustain and maintain these levels of excellence. But then how can I continue to be better and a better steward for my employer? Getting the job is probably the big mountain to climb, but then once you get to the summit, there's going to be another mountain. So there's other parts of coaching, onboarding, making sure that you are really putting your best foot forward. And again, having someone in your corner, if there is a challenge, talk it through, have that external pair of eyes, give you perspectives that you can't when you're so close to what's happening to you as a professional. So yes, it's a relationship. Again, there's authenticity. There's no checking the box. Here's your payment. I've done my 2 to 5 actions that will help you. It's much more than that. So it's a great point to bring up. I say have your call with Ron. He's very gracious to make it complimentary, and make your own decision and say, is this someone I want in my corner and fighting for me and has my back and the skills to back it up? Or am I going to try to go through this alone? You may get there alone, but it's, in my experience, going to take you 90 days longer, 120 days longer. And you're going to go through that whole process, and you may not land up exactly where you would have been if you had a little more strategy. I mean, think of the NBA finals just happened. My Denver Nuggets won, which is phenomenal. Yay. So imagine any team, going the best of the best, but without a coach and kind of just coaching themselves and being in the fishbowl. They probably wouldn't even make the finals or have a winning record. So, do you want to get there and kind of get there kind of okay, even though the talent is there? Or do you want your talent to be further refined, further become that perfect fit, that perfect consultant mindset that's going to solve that employer's problem in a much more succinct, powerful way? That's what coaching brings. I think it's a great ROI. Again, I've worked with other coaches as well, and I've seen that value over and over again. So I would say, talk to Ron, make your own decision and say, is this the person I want in my corner? And I think you'll come with a positive answer from that.